Good morning, everyone. I am about to bake these two beautiful ciabattas. The oven is preheated, and I have them ready to be baked. Take a look at them. They're gorgeous, full of air, fluffy, ready to be baked. So, here I have my peel. I'm going to put some semolina on top of the parchment paper. You never know. I don't want them to get stuck on this. So, just a little bit. And take a look at this. Don't they look beautiful? The ciabatta is one of my favorites bread from Italy. So now I have to transfer them here. Let me see how do I do. Okay, some semolina on top. This is going to be complicated, but here I go. Whoa. There it goes, a little bit sticky. And now here it goes, one. This is a really sticky dough, a lot of water. And I'm going to tell you what is the recipe. Let's first start baking them, so then I can start with the whole recipe. Another one here. Let me stretch it a little bit. This one too. Wow. How do they look like? Wow. Two ciabattas. You know the name in ciabatta, what means in Italian? Ciabatta means in a dialect, an Italian dialect, like shoe. Yes, it's like shoe. It's a shoe. Would they look like a shoe? Or like a sandal? I don't know. Let's go to the oven. So, as I tell you, the oven is already preheated. It's at 250 degrees Celsius, which is in Fahrenheit 480 degrees. That's hot. It's a hot oven. So, right now, the oven is working full. I have heat on top and on the bottom. But what I am about to do is to put it only on the bottom, on the first part of the bake. So this doesn't dry so fast. So, okay, I have some water here that I'm also going to use so I can get some steam. Let me put this first on the oven. There, here they go. Beautiful. There. And now, some water. I have two kinds of water. My super crazy fireman. And I also have some water in this bottle that I'm going to put here on the bottom of the oven. Yes, here they go. Just a second, more water. Wow, there you go. So I'm about to bake them for around 20-25 minutes. Not quite sure, but what I am sure is that I'm going to bake them, the first part, for 10 minutes. So 10 minutes with some steam, and then we'll let it golden brown, 10 or 15 minutes more. Okay, let me put this. And now, first of all, what we should know or to see is the recipe, of course. So here is the full recipe of the ciabattas that we are going to bake today. Remember that you can download my app, which is free for everyone, for Android and iPhone, and then you can add or upload this recipe really easy into my app and then calculate the weight of your dough. So, first of all, this dough is made with 3 preferments. I don't know if you have ever heard about preferments. Preferment, as the word says, is a dough that is previously fermented. Mostly you do this one day before, or maybe overnight. So I started these three preferments yesterday evening, around 7 p.m. So here I have. There are a lot of preferments. The ones that I'm going to use today are Polish, or Polish, because it comes from Poland. This one is really well known. It has 1 part of flour and another part of water and a little yeast, just a little bit. So it has a hydration of 100. That's the key, or the difference between, I don't know if you've heard about biga. Biga is another preferment, but it has 1 part of flour, half part of water, and a little bit of yeast. So Polish or Polish has 1:1. Okay, so this is the one. Then I have a levain made with sourdough starter, which is this one here. This one is a freshly sourdough starter, or called also levain, which is this one. It has equal parts of flour and water and a little bit of sourdough starter, which is also yeast, natural yeast. And finally, I have this one, which is in French pâte fermentée. Pâte fermentée, it's like a leftover from another dough made for bread, or it's like when you make a whole bunch of a whole bulk of bread, then you pick a little bit or you keep a little bit of this dough and you use it for the next bulk of bread. So you always use it and renew it, and you use that to ferment your bread. It's really interesting. It's a French tradition that they do a lot. For example, in Paris. Have you ever been into Poilâne? Well, they do that every day, so they get this gorgeous bread in Poilâne. So I have the 3 ones which are already ready to work, but I'll show you how to make them in order to make the whole dough. Another important thing, is the flour that we're going to use. Today I'm using the Stagioni Oro, which is an Italian flour. Since we're making Italian bread, we're making ciabatta. So this kind of bread is done with soft wheat. It's not hard wheat. It's soft wheat, which lets you stretch it. Have you seen at the beginning of the video? This kind of flour is more stretchable, so you can make pizza, you can make this ciabatta, you can make focaccia, everything Italian. This is the right flour to use. So I'm using this flour. And let's start with the 3 preferments, which are the heart or the fuel of this dough, which is going to have they're going to be really light with a lot of taste, because the preferments do that, and it's also easier to work because much of the work has already been done the day before. So let's start with the preferments. Remember that you've seen it in my application, so you can make your own recipe and calculate really easy the amount of dough that you want to do. Today I am making 1 kilo. So for 1 kilo, I have already everything here done. So let's start with the polish first. So as I said, here I have 1 part of flour, 1 part of water, and a little bit of yeast. Now I have some instant yeast, but you can use, I have some fresh yeast, but you can use also instant yeast, which the equivalence is 1 gram of instant yeast is 3 grams of fresh yeast, if you want to know. But it's just a little bit. It's not too much. So let's start with the yeast. I'll put the yeast first so I can dissolve it there in the water. And then I'll add the flour. Good. Then put this there. I have a spoon. Ooh, I think they're looking good. Let's check. Oh, interesting. Okay, but don't spoil it. We still have some more time. Good. Okay, water and yeast ready. And now here I go with the flour. Equal parts. 1 part of flour, 1 part of water, and just a little bit of yeast. There. So now I mix it. Really easy. This is a very, very simple preferment. The Polish was built or invented in Poland a few centuries ago. But the ones that use it the most are the French people, yes, because they use it for baguette. It is mainly used for baguette. So that's really interesting. The biga is from Italy. So now, ready? This is the Polish. Nothing special on it, really easy. So now I'll leave it there, and you need to give this some time. Well, a lot of time. Around 15 to 18, 20 hours at room temperature. When I am talking about room temperature, I'm talking around like 25 degrees Celsius, which in Fahrenheit, I'll do it online, is around 25 Celsius to Fahrenheit are around 77, 80 degrees. That's a good temperature for you. 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 degrees Celsius is the right temperature to ferment or to pre-ferment the Polish and all these preferments. So here I have it. I put it here to ferment alone. And now let's continue with the second one. Now I'm going to do the levain. Levain comes from sourdough starter, which is really active, but you don't need it to have it really active unless you're going to use it straight from here. If I want to use this sourdough starter, of course it should be active. But if I want to make a levain is a sourdough starter but really fresh and really low in acidity, because we're going just to pick a little bit of this sourdough starter, which is really active. Take a look at it, full of bubbles and air. I'll take just a little spoon of this and put it here in this pot. And now I'll add equal parts of flour and water. It's just like a polish, but made with natural yeast. So I put everything there too. Now I mix it. And this is going to be a levain. It is also going to take quite time to be ready. The best thing is to do it overnight, from the night before, and then in the morning you start baking your ciabattas or your bread. Of course, you can make another kind of bread. Today I'm making ciabattas, but this dough you can do even a focaccia if you want to. Okay, really easy, and this is a texture of the levain, which needs to ferment, of course, always at room temperature. Okay, so levain ready. Put it there. And now the last one, the third one, which is pâte fermentée, also known as, in Spanish they call it masa vieja, which in English is old dough, which is a dough from the day before, a leftover of bread dough. So for this, and the difference of this pâte fermentée is that it's the only pre-ferment that has salt. Why? Because it's a bread dough. It's not a pre-ferment really. It's a piece of bread dough, so it has salt, like every bread dough. Okay, let me put everything here. So here goes the yeast. So there goes the yeast and salt all together. A little bit of olive oil. And finally, water, as always. There it goes. So now I have to start mixing this. Oh, but before, let's check the dough, the ciabattas. Oh, beautiful. So it's been 10 minutes. Let me remove the tray with steam. Oh, it's hot. Put this there. And now I'll put the oven again, the whole oven working, high temperature, everything, 200. And now I'll leave them for around 10 more minutes. Let's see what happens in 10 minutes. Maybe I need 15 minutes. So it's been 10 minutes with steam, and now another 10 more minutes without steam. So they get golden brown. Good. Okay, let's leave it there. And let's continue with the last pre-ferment, which is the old dough. So I mix all together. In case you have some old dough, some leftover dough at home, you can use it. Just use the weight of this dough and replace it with another really old dough. This is like a false old dough because it's not that old. And I'm making specially for this bread. But it's going to give it a lot of air to the dough. And it's going to make it even more flavorful. So good. I have it there, and this is the dough. Take a look at it. Whoop. This is the old dough. Hello, old dough. How are you? It doesn't look that old. Okay. Ready. Let's put it there, and by the magic of the gluten, they are already fermented, as you've seen at the beginning of the video. Here's the polish. This is the old dough, and this is a levain. Let me show them to you. Here is the polish. Take a look at the polish. All the bubbles of the polish. This is going to give a lot of air to the dough. Another one, the old dough. Here's the old dough. Hello, sir. How are you? I'm a really old. I don't know. This is a Oh, and it smells incredible too. And here comes the sourdough or the levain. Look also all the bubbles that it has. So, wow. So we have everything from all the words. We have some preferments done with yeast and some preferments like the levain made also with yeast, but with natural yeast, homemade yeast, artisan yeast. So this is going to be the fuel of the dough that we are going to make today. So what I have to do, here I have the rest of the ingredients of this recipe, because I think that this is the whole recipe, the 100% of the recipe. So we took some part of the flour, some part of the water, a little bit of yeast, and we pre-fermented this the day before, and now we add the rest of the ingredients, but the whole recipe is this. So what I have to do now is to start mixing the final dough. So here I have my mixer. Let me put it here. Here's okay. And as usual, when I work with high hydration doughs, this dough has around 75% hydration, which is a lot of water. It's per kilo flour, we are using 750 grams of water, which is quite a lot. So I prefer, rather than using the hook, I prefer to use the paddle. For me, it's better. The mixer works better when I use the paddle. But if you want, use the hook. So what I have to do first is to put all the preferments in the mixer bowl. There is no order, so you can put the one that you want first. The dough is not going to know that. So here comes the first. There it goes. There. Let's go with another one. Beautiful. I love working with preferments because they are all benefits. You get healthier bread, you'll get lighter bread, tastier bread, everything. And also the time of mixing is going to be faster because most part of the flour is already pre-fermented. And everything is going to be faster. Okay, 2 and 3. Here comes the last one. It is not normal, I don't know how to say it, to use 3 pre-ferments all together. Mostly you use 1. Maybe you use Biga, you use Polish, you use levain, but in this case we're using 3 different preferments, so it is interesting. This recipe is really interesting. Now the 3 preferments are there. Now I go with the flour, the last flour that I'm using. Now I have some sugar. This dough has a little bit of sugar and of course a little bit more of salt and just a little pinch of yeast if you want. This is optional, but I used to put it. It's just a little to help the dough rise even faster. So let me move this, and I still need to put the paddle there. And the last ingredients or main ingredients that I have are a little bit of olive oil, which goes at the end of the mixing, and of course water. Let me put some little water there, and I will add slowly the rest. So I start at speed 1, carefully because I have a lot of flour there. I start adding, okay, the water really is, there it goes. All the water in, good. And let's see how the ciabatta's coming. Ooh, looking beautiful. 4 more minutes, and we have them ready. Okay. Now I'm mixing everything, and people always ask me about how much time do you have to mix the dough so you can get it ready. I think that it's not a question of time. It's more about the gluten development. So you need to look at the dough, read the dough, and decide when the gluten is already developed rather than saying it's 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know. So now moving to speed 2. Whoa. I think this mixer is going to fly. So I need to hold it. Good. It's coming. This is a fast dough, as I said, because we've done all the fermentation and the gluten development was also done during the preferments. That's really interesting. 20 minutes, 3 minutes there. And stay tuned to the end of the video because as soon as they come out of the oven, there's going to be a surprise. A very tasty surprise with the ciabattas. After all, that's why we're baking bread, right? Not just to bake bread. We also need to eat bread. And with something inside, right? No? Yes? Yeah. Good. Looking good. Just a few minutes. And the last thing that I'm going to add is this olive oil. If you don't have olive oil, then you can use regular oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, the one that you have. But I really like using olive oil because this is Italian bread. Okay, just a little bit more. How many minutes? 2 minutes. So it's going to be, I think, 20 minutes. 20 minutes in the oven, it's a good time. Perfect. I'll stay here. So if you have something in the oven, maybe you can check it. I'll stay here. Okay. Check the oven. Don't fly. Stay there. Come with me. Yes, 1 minute left. Let me put my gloves. Nice color. And they're about to come out in a second. I'm going to use this cooling rack so they get a little bit cool before I open them. So here they come. 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. Always, this last minute is always the same. I think that this last minute is longer than 1 minute. I can't believe it. It's a minute forever. Does it happen to you too? Oh, there. Finally. Okay. Here it comes. Whoa. Beautiful ciabattas. Take a look at them. Wow. What do you think? So let me put them here on the rack. Oh, they're so light. Beautiful. Now let's check the dough. Oh, the dough is almost ready. Awesome. There, the ciabattas, everything at the same time, the same moment, everything all together. Okay, the dough is almost done. And the ciabattas, oh, take a look at this. It's burning. They are so light. Ooh, incredible. Those are the preferments. That's why we have this beautiful and light piece of bread. It's hot. Okay, let me add the oil at last. Here it goes. And the dough is going to be ready in just a few seconds. Good. Looking beautiful. Almost done. Let me put it a little bit faster. That's why I said it's not a matter of time, it's just a thing about the gluten development. And it's almost done. Just a little. So I wanted to see in comments, what do you think I am going to do with this ciabattas sandwich? With something special, something Italian, something Spanish, something from US, something from Mexico, from India, I don't know, something from Australia. I'm going to do something Italian, and you're going to like it. Okay, it's coming, the dough is coming, the machine is about to fly, but the dough is there. Let's count to 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and whoa! Take a look at this. Wow. I can't believe it. We've done it. Perfect. This is sticky, sticky dough. Get ready. This is a really sticky dough. So, what I need is a bowl. I also need this. And let's move this so they get cool for a second. And with a scraper, let me put this in the bowl. Excellent. That's why I use the paddle. That's why I use the paddle, because it holds better the dough. If you use the hook, it's going to take longer. And that's my experience. So I rather use this one. Okay, let me put this here. And before I start this, I need to give it the final touches. There it goes. Take a look at the dough. It looks like sticky. Yes, I know, it's sticky. It's a sticky dough, but don't be afraid of the sticky dough. You need to wet your hands to work with it. And now let's do the final, the final touches. As you can see, take a look at the gluten development that we have. Perfect gluten development. There. Done. In a few seconds. So now I'll transfer this to a bowl. There it goes. And I'll let it rise there till it doubles in size. So I'll cover it with this shower cap and let it rise there till it doubles in size. But here it is. It's ready, super fermented, ready to be shaped. So now we have the final dough already shaped. It has doubled in size with a lot of air. So this dough started the day before, remember, with the preferments, and today I just mix it and let it here sit on the counter for around 2 hours, maybe 2-3 hours. It depends a little bit on the room temperature. So now when it doubles in size, it is ready to be shaped in ciabattas or whatever you want to do. So what I do is to put some semolina. I prefer using semolina, which is Italian also. I prefer using semolina rather than flour. There, a little more semolina, and now I mold it here. And I'm ready to cut it in pieces. Really easy. And start again with the ciabattas. Remember that the ciabattas are easy to do because they you don't need to shape them at all. You just need to have a couche like this, a little couche like I have here. I put some more semolina here so it doesn't get stuck because it's a sticky dough. And now I'm going to divide it in 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And take a look at all the air that this piece has. Wow, beautiful. So now I'll put them here. On the lid. There goes another. And here comes the other one. No shaping, just cutting and letting them rest for a little. And now I make this in the couche so they can rest. And this is how I started. Remember at the beginning of the video I had these two ciabattas ready to be baked, which are these two ones. And now we have them ready. So in a few minutes I'll be able to bake them. But I have already baked those here. So I think it's time to start preparing a beautiful sandwich. So here finally are the ciabattas baked. Wow, super light, and they smell incredible. Now which one should I use? This one? This? I think this one. Let's hear it. Oh. Do you hear that? Ooh, this is crispy. And it's a little bit hot. Yeah. Okay, so I have beautiful things here. Some mortadella. Take a look at the mortadella. Some burrata too. Arugula. And always, if you're in Italy, pesto. Yes, basil pesto. So, let's open this up and let's see what happens. Here it is. Wow. And woo! What do you think about this crumb? Ooh, it's incredible. And it's steaming. It's still steaming. Wow. Beautiful. I could stay the whole day watching this.
With the bun, solid.
I need to show everybody this. Hey! There. Hello. Okay, but I have to use it. First, let me take a picture. I need to take a picture of this. Wow, incredible ciabatta. Wow. I bake a lot of breads every day, but every bread is a new bread. And I'm always amazed by the crumb. Okay, let's start with the sandwich. So, as I said, I have some pesto here. I'm going to put it this way. Pesto, bottom, basil, olive oil, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and pines, and also some salt. And then you have a beautiful pesto. Now comes the main ingredient. I love mortadella. A lot of mortadella. Yes. With pistachio. A lot of mortadella with pistachio. Oof. This is incredible. And now comes the green part. Little bit of arugula. Fresh arugula. There it goes. Always arugula. And I'm missing the other ingredient, the burrata, which goes on top. This is like mozzarella cheese filled with a stracciatella. There. Is it enough? Okay, now some balsamic vinegar. Little bit there. And I cannot miss more olive oil. There. Olive oil. And here on the top. Olive oil, there it goes too. Wow. Take a look at this. But this is not over yet. Let me finish this. And now comes the best part. Wow. Mortadella, pesto, stracciatella, olive oil, and beautiful ciabatta. So I hope you have enjoyed as much as me, because here comes the best part of the video. As always, may the gluten be with you. Thanks.